Hello everyone, my name's Richard Taylor. I'm a Senior Program Manager on the Skype for Business team. I'm really excited to introduce you to our new SDK, the App SDK, for integrating into your own iOS and Android mobile and tablet apps. Some of you may already be familiar with some of our developer platform already. So we have UCWA and our user API. These are the RESTful APIs you can use on Skype for Business Server and Skype for Business Online to integrate Skype functionality. We also have our Web SDK, which is our JavaScript SDK for integrating into your web applications. Today, we're announcing the sibling for that SDK, the App SDK, which will allow you to do exactly the same on iOS and Android. Why are we doing this? Well, we've heard from a lot of you that you have situations where it's great to launch the Skype and Skype for Business applications, but it doesn't quite give you the same fluid end user experience where your customers have to install another app and then jump backwards and forwards between two apps. And what's really needed for a truly seamless experience is to have the Skype function embedded directly into your own applications. So that's what this SDK aims to do. Over time, over the coming year, you'll see it match all of the situations and scenarios we've already talked to you about on the Web SDK. But to begin with, we want to be focused on one main thing, which is business to consumer scenarios. And we talk about those as the guest scenarios, where we can bring in a high-value scenario, high-value conversation, such as a patient talking to a doctor, or a client talking to a financial advisor, or maybe even a customer talking to you about your retail app and what they see there for sale. Coming with that, we have the capability to add IM, messaging, audio and video. As I say, it's going to work on iOS and Android and across Skype for Business Server and online. So let's take a look at a demo of how that might work for you. So what we have here is a banking application. It's a sample mocked up banking application where you just, as usual, you put in your username and your password. And so far, no, we're not showing you anything to do with Skype. This is like an existing application you might have. And you can see your available balance. You can go and see your recent transactions. So far, so regular. So what's the Skype piece of this? Well, what we've done now is to that application, we've added the Ask Agent button you see at the bottom right. Maybe there's some transaction here that I don't understand or some investment opportunity that I'd like to discuss with my agent. So all I have to do as the customer there is press that button. And as you can see, directly within the app, no moving out, it's spun up the situation where here I am able to see my agent and my agent can see me. I can discuss the issue I have, we talk to each other, and then when we're done, we figured out the problem, I can just hang up and there I am back in the regular application able to carry on as normal. And critically, although we didn't show it there as a kind of mostly a full screen thing, especially on, say, a tablet application, you could build that application where that video conversation was happening side by side with the customer data that you're talking about. Or maybe it's patients talking to their doctor side by side with the test results on the other side. Moving back to the deck. So what was going on there under the covers? We were using a new technology called guest meeting join. What happens as your user decides they want to have a conversation is your application under the covers needs to make a request to your own back-end application, which in turn goes and retrieves a URL for that meeting. Now, you might get that URL either from an Exchange calendar somewhere. Maybe it's a pre-booked appointment for an advisor. Or, like in the situation you just saw, you can request a URL for a new meeting on demand from our APIs, and then you pass that all the way back up to your application. Your application gives it to the SDK, and the SDK joins the meeting there and then embedded within your application. So that's basically the summary of what I was just discussing. A couple more details to pull out. Take a look at the format of the URL there. In fact, those of you who use Skype for Business today for your own meetings, you'll probably recognize that format. You'll see those in the Outlook calendar invites that people have to discuss things online. You can use those, just pass them straight into the SDK and it'll understand them and know how to meet them. There's already security baked in that each of these URLs is unique. So you can, every time you create one, that's going to be new and no one else can join. Just need to make sure you keep that secret. We may also be adding additional token-based flow on top of that as we move forward. So let's take a look at the next stage. So let's take a look actually at what was happening in the application you saw earlier. We'll take just a quick look at Xcode and try and give you a flavour of what it will take to build on this SDK and just how simple it will be. So in the storyboard here, most of the views you can see were already present as part of the banking application today. The only thing we need to do now is add a new button for talking to the agent, and then we also need to add a new view to connect up to that button, which is going to show the incoming and outgoing video. Super simple, and now when people press that button, it's going to segue into that new view. If we take a look at the code under the covers, well, here we are. This was in the existing main view controller. We're taking a look at what's happening there. We're just initializing things very quickly, first of all. And then the SDK is going to let us know when a meeting is available to join. And it's in a state basically where it can join a meeting. All we have to do there is then say, right, okay, let's segue over to the view controller, and then we'll see what we're going to do with that afterwards. Into the view controller, and I think this is the key piece really, we can just say in one call to the SDK, hey, I want to join a meeting. Here's the URL, of course, that you've obtained via your backend. Here's a display name for the user, and you can collect that, send that in yourself, or even put any other context there. That will be provided to the agent on the far side. And critically, you're also passing in a video view, the place where you want the video to be rendered. The SDK will tell you about various changes that happen as that goes forward. So, hey, the inbound video is now available and being shown, so you can show it and start preparing to send your own outbound video. And again, the SDK's got other calls just to keep you up to date with what's going on. I want to emphasize here that the API surface here is still under development. We are announcing today, and in a moment I'll talk about when this is going to be available in the next month or so. So the API surface isn't final, we'll be updating it as we go on, but hopefully you get a flavor of just how simple it will be to incorporate Skype communications into your own app. You've just seen how simple it will be for us to integrate Skype communications into your apps. We're announcing today at Build, because we wanted to give you a sneak preview of what's to come and get you thinking about it. We will be publishing a public preview of this SDK for everyone to take a look at and download, probably around the end of April, so in about a month's time. If this is the kind of thing you're interested in, please take a look at that URL there, go there, sign up and register your interest, and we'll be in touch with you and make sure you know about it as soon as the SDK is available for development. In the meantime, do also take a look at dev.skype.com to talk about and take a look at our other APIs and SDKs. Thank you very much for your time, and we're really excited to see what kind of apps you're going to build on top of this SDK. Thank you.